Oi boys, welcome to another video on the channel. We are back with some state of origin chats, some predictions, and this time we are talking about the New South Wales Blues. We are going to jump straight into it, starting with the back five now. Now in terms of locks, there are three I reckon that are solidified and own these positions. One is James Tedesco at fullback. I couldn't believe people were even suggesting that maybe it was time for a guy like Dylan Edwards to get a crack. Now don't get me wrong, and no disrespect to Dylan Edwards, but I just don't think New South Wales will be changing their skipper anytime soon. It's like with Kalyn Ponga. Tedesco is battle tested in the Origin arena. Plus skill wise, Tedesco's like a genuine game breaker. Edwards has his qualities as well, but actually it's quite funny. I do think his style of play is suited for the Origin arena, but like I said, I just don't see them replacing Tedesco anytime soon, in form or not. He'll have that Blues jersey for the next few series. The other two locks in the back five, in my opinion, will be, depending on where they throw Byron To'o, but he'll be on the wing. We'll say the left side, partnering Latrell Mitchell. It's the right side that's got plenty question marks surrounding it, like Tommy Turbo. Does he make the squad, in my opinion? I don't think he will. Form-wise, yes, he's out of form, but it's different to, say, a James Tedesco or KP. I heard somewhere that he's running, I think the percentage was 80% or something like that, so I said it in the past, he's looking more like damaged goods playing for Manly. It'll be interesting to see how he goes this week, but for mine at the moment, I do think Campbell Graham deserves that right centre spot and is primed for the arena. As for the right wing, or left wing if Byron To'o plays right, I was tossing up between Josh Addo-Carr, maybe even Tom Turbo, but I actually think they'll go with the young Roosters former winger that's been in hibernation in the centres, Joseph Sua'ali'i. People have been ragging on him since his performance has kind of dipped, but always fail to mention that he is playing in the centres these days at the Roosters. And it's the Roosters. Their whole team has been terrible this season, so I'm not buying into this complacency narrative being thrown around about Joey Sua'ali'i. On the wing, he has a skill set that's tailor-made for the Origin arena, in my opinion, and if the Fox isn't fit, I do think Sua'ali'i gets the call-up. I did see talks of throwing Campbell Graham out there and chucking Tom in centres, or even putting Tom on the wing, but I think the best man for the job right now is Sua'ali'i. It's crazy. Big Mal chucks Campbell Graham in the World Cup squad on the wing, and now people are finally starting to notice just how talented he is. But yeah, for mine, right centre and wing, Campbell Graham and Joseph Sua'ali'i. Now, the biggest talking point surrounding the Blues this year is that number 6 jersey. So in the halves, we know that Nathan Cleary's a lock, but who I think they'll go with, and honestly I'm still on the fence myself. I would love to see Nicho Hynes in the 6, but I do think Jarome Luai deserves first crack this year. I get that Nicho Hynes is currently the best half in the game, or neck and neck with Nathan Cleary at the moment. I just don't think Luai's done anything that warrants him to be dropped. Has he been quiet this year? Yes and no. He was super effective last week though. Then again, for Nicho Hynes, he's been the best player for the last couple seasons. Honestly, there's no wrong answer, but I do think that they will stick with the Penrith duo for at least the first game. Now moving on to the front row, I do believe Jake Trbojevic is back this week, so my 8, 9 and 10, Jake Trbojevic and Payne Haas in the front row, and at hooker, I've got Tigers hooker, Api Koroisau. Now form wise for Api, he's played more good games than bad for the Tigers, but for the most part I do think that 9 jersey at least is a lock for him, as is Jake Trbojevic and Payne Haas in the front row. Jakey's defense, like we call Ruben Cotter, he's a bona fide tree chopper, chopping blokes left, right and center, and Payne Haas, currently the best front rower in the league. Moving on to the back row, one of these boys is a lock in my opinion, and that's Cam Murray. Been there in the past, arguably number 1 or number 2 when it comes to best locks in the league, but at the state level, the back row's been his position. As for the other side, I've got a debutant. I was tossing up between Hudson Young and Manly wide running forward Haumole Olakau'atu. Both deserving in my opinion, but with Cam Murray locking down one side, I reckon the other spot will go to Haumole Olakau'atu. Up until their game last week, he was playing the best footy he's ever played, and attacking wise, his style of play is more suited to either Luai or Cleary. I just think he has more to offer in attack compared to Hudson Young, and yeah, I do think he'll get picked on an edge. And to wrap up the starting 13, of course, Isaiah Yeo will have that lock position on lock. And for the bench, we've got Damien Cook in 14. I do think they'll go with that hooking rotation again. I can't see Nicho. It's unfortunate, but I can't see them throwing Nicho on the bench. I do think it'll be a waste. They could go crazy and have a light bench with both Cook and Nicho, but I don't see that happening either. So unfortunately, I do see Nicho, I guess, not making the Game 1 team, which is pretty nuts to think about, to even say. I'd honestly be surprised if Freddie chucks him in for Game 1, but time will tell. I think we see the team lists at the end of this round. So yeah, I've got Damien Cook in the 14, and the 15, Liam Martin, who's recently come back and has been blasting blokes, smashing dudes, coming off the bench for Penrith, and I think they'll have him on the bench for the Blues as well. Of the same ilk as a Hudson Young, but ahead of Hudson Young, that's why I think they'll go with Hamole, as he does offer something different in attack. I mean, he could even start and Olakawatu could come off the bench. But yeah, moving along to the front row rotation, I've gone off a debutant, one of South Sydney's lead horses, Junior Totolo. Now I did check, he is eligible for New South Wales, he did play juniors for the Blues, and the only international side he's played for is Tonga, so his name is definitely in the mix. I'd have him in there over, say, like a Saifiti. I did see the Bellens name get thrown in there. I could even see them throwing Liam Martin in the middle and grabbing another back row for the bench, but for me, I've got Junior Totolo. He's been a beast for a couple seasons now playing at the Bunnies, and the other front rower, of course, a lock, Junior Paulo. And again, Nico Hines as 18th man. That's pretty much it. My predicted New South Wales Blues side. I wonder who the Blues actually pick, especially in those positions that are up for grabs, like the whole right edge, the Campbell Graham, Sua'ali'i, Olakawatu, and even that spot on the bench with Junior Totolo. There's plenty other names you could throw in. But yeah, this is who I think they'll go with. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and also chuck your predicted New South Wales Blues lineup for Game 1. If you did enjoy that, be sure to hit that like button, and for more rugby league related content, be sure to drop a cheeky sub. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later.